We all know that when it comes to creativeness, without constraints, without limitations, you have to go niche perfumery. So in this video, I'm going to highlight the best fragrances of the world of niche perfumery over the last 30 years. So get comfortable, let's hop into it. Welcome back to another video. Max Forti here. If you love to make a great and lasting impression, smelling good is a great way to start. Today we're going to talk about 30 fragrances, but we're going to break it up. The part one, which we're going to cover today, is going to take us through memory lane. We're going to go into the best niche releases for each year, starting from 1993 all the way into 2003. And of course, we'll do a part two and a part three of this video, which will cover 30 years altogether. If you guys missed, I did a most iconic designer fragrances of all time. Well, not of all time, the 30 past years from 93 to 2023. I'm going to pop those cards up here and also have links in the description of this video. So without any further ado, guys, let's hop into the 10 choices from 93 to 2003. Let's do it. Kicking off the first year, 1993, which I think, when it comes to the world of niche, this particular brand took me into the rabbit hole and really helped me discover incredible possibilities and smells that I never thought possible could have existed. This one here is very near and dear to my heart, the house of Serge Lutens, which is not the first brand I delve into the niche fragrance world, but definitely one of the most incredible ones. This is Serge Lutens' Ambre Sultan. Ambre Sultan from 1993 was a fragrance way ahead of its time. This is a spicy amber fragrance that's a little bit animalic. Will remind you a little bit, if you're familiar with the Amber Absolute from Tom Ford, which came out 2007, later years, which a lot more universally appealing, a lot sweeter. This one here, definitely smokier, definitely animalistic. One of the best amber fragrances ever released. I believe Parfumeur et Garnier has a Ambre Précieuse or Precious Amber fragrance that's a little bit similar to this one, but not as good, guys. Ambre Sultan has like dried fruits. It's a combination between ambers, spices, and dried fruits. Absolutely ahead of its time, masterpiece from 1993. Now we're going to go in the other opposite direction of things. We're going to go lighter. We're going to go 1994, which at that point, what was really exploding in the world of perfumery or colognes, if you will, especially when it comes to the masculine genre, we had a lot of aquatic, citrus, fruity kind of a fragrance. And this is exactly what this is from the house of Creed, Millésime Impérial. Needless to say, the perfumer here is a master perfumer. And of course, we're talking about Pierre Bourdon. Incredible fragrance, fruity, very aromatic. I definitely get lavender here. You also have the ambergris here, which is very used by Creed fragrances, especially with the freshy ones, which gives this very nice sea breeze, salty kind of accord. It smells absolutely amazing. Compliment monster right here. Millésime Impérial from 94. Definitely my favorite release for that year when it comes to the niche fragrance world. But this is definitely one of those mass appealing, easy to wear, compliment inducing, but definitely a great freshie. And I think in 1994, if you were looking for a great one that would set you apart, this would definitely be one of those. Fast forward to 1995, we're going to talk about a fragrance here from a house from Italy that doesn't really get much play anymore, or hardly ever. This is going to be Lorenzo Villoresi Firenze. This is a Florence-based brand in Italy, and this is going to be just their Musk Edition fragrance. And guess what, guys? This particular fragrance is none other than Brad Pitt's signature scent. This is actually what Brad Pitt wears regularly. If you talk to Brad Pitt, if you watch interviews, he actually mentioned this fragrance as one of his go-tos. Lorenzo Villoresi's Musk is a very sensual fragrance. Easy to wear. I believe there's sandalwood in the base as well that adds creaminess to the fragrance. Some spiciness. There's vetiver here, sandalwood, some nice woods in the base, but the musk is definitely the star player. If you're looking for a very sensual musk that's a little bit spicy and slightly fruity, this, guys, is an absolute sensuality in a bottle. Right here from 1995, not very easy to come by. Not many people talk about this one. Not easy to find, but if you do happen to be able to find a bottle of this, at least try it on your skin. I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised, as I was in 1995. Now we're going to talk about a fragrance from 1996 from a brand that's been around for many years. To be honest with you, they've been around since 1870. This is a British brand from London, and this is going to be 𝗁𝗁 cologne. The nose behind this one is Christian Provenzano, which is very prevalent these days with creations, but this was a 1996 fragrance. And the way I describe this is, if you're familiar with Calvin Klein's CK1, you get a little bit of that fruitiness with CK1, a little bit of the floral aspects of that fragrance combined with the fougere style or barbershop feel. You do have the lavender here, you have some spices, you have some nice woods in the base like vetiver, sandalwood, cedar. Absolute screamer of a fragrance, slightly animalistic, fruity and definitely woody. Amazing stuff. 𝗀𝗏𝗃 cologne, long lasting for a cologne fragrance, released in '96. Masterpiece from the house of Penhaligon's London. Guys, check this one out if you love a good aromatic and barbershop style kind of a fragrance with a cologne, fruity and floral kind of a backbone. You're gonna love this one, guys. Very unique, very nice, very stylish and elegant and sophisticated kind of a fragrance that you don't hear much about, but definitely will help you stand out. 1997, here's a brand that was founded in the 70s, and I have such a special place in my heart for this brand. Tremendous releases over the years. This one here in particular is called Méchant Loup from the house of l'Artisan Parfumeur. Now, l'Artisan Parfumeur has been heavily changed. The bottles are now all black. They have been, quote unquote, very reformulated. So the fragrances you try today are going to be a shadow of what they once were. They're not going to be as long lasting, not as complex, if you will. They have been, I want to say, quote unquote, modernized. But if you find the bottles that are clear with the color, the different color labels, that's the kind of stuff you want from l'Artisan Parfumeur. Now, Méchant Loup is such an incredible fragrance. I think the translation in French to English would be Bad Wolf. Now, Méchant Loup is a 1997 fragrance release from incredible master perfumer Bertrand Duchâteau, and this is basically a slightly incensey myrrh kind of a fragrance with a wild honey accord, very fruity, slightly animalistic, a little bit smoky, an absolutely intricate and complex fragrance that you ought to try. Again, if you find what's available today, which is still available today in a reformulated form, it's still decent, but if you can manage to find this style bottle, you're going to be in heaven because this is an absolutely heavenly composition. This is going to be slightly gourmandy as well. You have a praline accord with a slightly touch of a licorice vibe. Again, very complex, slightly gourmandish, slightly smoky due to that myrrh incense accord. Absolute masterpiece right here from l'Artisan Parfumeur. In fact, they had a lot of ones, a lot of great masterpieces, as you'll see here in the best fragrance releases over the last 30 years. Niche, I believe Serge Lutens and l'Artisan Parfumeur will make a lot of top choices here because they were just in the top of their game at that point. We're gonna go forward now to the year of 1998. This is going to be Musk's 𝗂𝗶𝘀𝘀 from Serge Lutens. Now, if you manage to find the bottles that have the little palace logo, this is even going back now. This is even more vintage bottles, and this is absolutely heavenly, guys. This is going to be very musky, very animalistic, very powerful composition that will last for days on your skin. If you spray your clothes, forget about it, it'll be there for days. This here would definitely make my top, at least in the top 3 of the best, if not the best, musk fragrance of all time, guys. The nose behind this one is 𝗂𝗏𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 And he created one of the most complex, intricate, and incredible fragrances from Serge Lutens, including this one, guys. There's a little bit of a civet note in here. It's also very animalistic. Again, if you're looking for a perfect musk, this is going to be one of those. I believe this is an old formulation. I think this is the actual original formulation from 1998 in this particular, casing that you see here. And I do believe it was ported into the Bell Jars, which was the more private collection of Serge Lutens. And since they pulled away from the US, at this current time, I don't know if this is still available from Serge Lutens, but definitely worth procuring a bottle. If you find a bottle like the one I just showed you, you are going to be absolutely mesmerized by how incredible this fragrance is. Fast forward to 1999, I'm talking about Serge Lutens, I'm talking about L'Artisan, of course. Here's another one from L'Artisan. This is going to be Dzing. Now, Dzing is going to capture the circus life. This is going to be a very complex fragrance which has cotton candy in the note. It's going to have some animalistic facets to the fragrance. It's basically a leather fragrance with a semi-gourmand, animalistic kind of a complexity to it. Very daring at times, this fragrance. Not going to be for everyone, but in my opinion, definitely one of the best releases from L'Artisan of all time. From 1999, Dzing, incredible. If you love leathers, this is a must try. Now, fast forward to 2000, I'm going to talk about a fragrance here that's definitely a holy grail when it comes to musk fragrances. This is going to be Maurice Roussel's, which is, incredible master nose. This is Musc Ravageur. If you guys have been in the fragrance community for a minute, like myself, if you've been in the fragrance community for the last decade or so, you for sure have heard of this fragrance. But if you're just falling into the proverbial rabbit hole of niche fragrances, this is a must try, guys. If you love a great musk fragrance, Definitely check this one out. It starts very animalistic, very musky. There's a clove note here that turns people away. But you know, within 15, 20 minutes, the magic begins. The stuff turns and becomes almost like a warm Cinnabon on skin. Absolutely fantastic fragrance. I can't talk highly enough of this fragrance. This was, I believe, my second or third purchase. I think it was my second. I think Reflection one was my first niche purchase. Then it was New Harlem from Bond number 9, and this I think was the third one, which I wore heavily. As you can see, this is actually a vintage bottle. Guys, Musc Ravageur is a beast. Incredible masterpiece, easy. If I had to keep 10 fragrances for life niche, this would definitely be in that top list. So guys, check out Musc Ravageur from Frederick Mall. Definitely a masterpiece that you guys should discover if you haven't tried, and if you know how great this stuff is. Fast forward to 2001, here's a fragrance that, in my opinion, is definitely one of the holy grails when it comes to tobacco. Probably one of my top 3 favorite tobacco fragrances of all time. This is Wild Honey, this is Tobacco, this is Hay. Talking about 𝗕𝗏 from 2001, incredible. This is a vintage bottle, love this stuff. An absolute stellar fragrance. In fact, I'm gonna let you guys in a little secret here. Behind me, there's a fragrance that was put together last year for ScentXplore with the Navitus collaboration, Navitus and ScentXplore. And this is basically a numbered collection. There was only 500 bottles of this fragrance. It's called Xenial, and this basically took inspiration from 𝗕𝗏's tobacco. There's of course whiskey here, single malt whiskey. There's a leather note here. Talk about wow factor notes. Wow factor notes for me is always the boozy accords, the leathery accords, and of course the tobacco scent profile. And this is all present in this fragrance. Incredible. There's only 500 of this. This is a 4.2, 125 ml. If you guys haven't discovered or heard about Xenial, guys, check it out. It has all of those wow factor notes combined to an incredible fragrance comprised in this particular composition. And the nose behind this one was 𝗂𝗏, which made incredible hits for Xerjoff, just to begin the conversation here. But going back to 𝗕𝗏, just wanted to let you know that I took inspiration in this tobacco when I was going through the creative process of Xenial with 𝗂𝗏. But anyway, this is a masterpiece, guys. Incredible tobacco. This is sweet. It's a little bit spicy, woody, dries down heavenly, very sensual, very inviting. You wear this is like a magic potion. People are going to come to you. This draws people in. They're going to inevitably ask you, what in the world are you wearing? You smell so good. I need to smell like that. Or I can't, I want to be next to you. That's 𝗕𝗏, guys. Incredible fragrance. Made a lot of top lists on this channel. The reason why I don't talk about this much anymore is because, again, Serge Lutens had pulled away from the US, I believe, a couple years ago, so you can't find this easily anymore. But 𝗕𝗏 is definitely in my top 3 favorite tobacco fragrances of all time, and it's saying a lot. Now we're going to 2002. You guys also know I love Vedivers, barbershops. Those are like, the fougere, one of my favorite, genres as well. This is from Dominique Ropion, another master perfumer. This is going to be Vetiver Extraordinaire. The name says it all. It's an extraordinary vetiver-based fragrance. If you're looking for, this smells so good. If you're looking for a fantastic vetiver fragrance to be your signature scent, if you love vetiver, this is one to consider. If you getting into vetiver fragrances, but you think it's a little bit of a hard note to wear on its own, if it's a fragrance that's really prevalent with that note, if you have a hard time wearing it, definitely check this one out. It's blended to perfection. Of course, you're gonna get all the facets of vetiver. It's a little bit fruity at the top, but then it gets smokier, earthier, as it gets to the dry down. But one thing about this fragrance, this is a tension commanding vetiver that definitely smells elegant, well put together. If you're a guy out there and you want to really convey an in-control vibe about yourself, Vetiver Extraordinaire, I like to call it. It's a CEO, a boss type scent. No two ways about it. And of course, the last fragrance here on this list from 2003 happened to be my second niche purchase of all time. I am in love with this fragrance, always been. This is the segue into the brand of Bond number 9, also a New York-based brand, a niche company that I highly suggest you guys check out. There's some hidden gems within this brand, and this is definitely one of them. This is New Harlem from 2003. I'm not even gonna spray this on because this is beast. Basically how people describe this, again, Maurice Roussel is the nose behind this one, the same gentleman that did Musc Ravageur. So of course there's going to be lavender here. There's also a maple syrup kind of a note, a coffee accord. It's basically breakfast in a bottle. It's a gourmand for sure. Very powerful, very long lasting, incredible for fall and winter. This is absolutely perfection. Guys, Bond number 9 New Harlem, masterpiece from 2003. Check it out if you haven't. It's readily available now. For a while it was said to have become discontinued. It is now readily available. Check out. Now, talking about niche fragrance, if you guys love Niche Perfumery, if you've just found the niche world of fragrances here on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram, doesn't matter. If you fell into the rabbit hole and you want to know more about niche fragrances, guys, I want to invite you to ScentXplore. If you haven't heard of that, it's actually an international niche perfume event. It happens right here in the United States, New York City to be exact, every year. This is the 6th annual. It's going to be a 3-day event, December 5th, 6th, and 7th. Check out details linked in this video. And of course, sign up. Right now, it is the early bird special, which you can get, a lot of discounts. And of course, for everyone that signs up for ScentXplore will receive a welcome package containing samples from all featured brands, which are also listed on the website. Of course, we got programs, we got masterclass, workshops, book signings, you name it. It's a Disneyland of niche perfumery. If you love niche perfumery, you got to be there. Content creators, you name it. It's one for all, come one, come all niche perfume event. Everything is going to be listed below, linked below to make your life easier from a fragrance lover to another. And of course, I hope to see you at ScentXplore 2024. Of course, use my code MAX12 for 12% off site-wide, and you can try every fragrance I talked about in this video, and a lot of them in their original vintage form. So check it out, details below. I'm gonna link everything to make your life easier. And of course, I will see you right back here with another video. Let me see what I'm gonna go with today. You know what? I will go with 𝗵𝗶𝘀𝗶𝘆𝗃 today. So guys, stick around, stay tuned. Part 2 and part 3 on their way. And of course, I will see you right back here in the next one. Or of course, I'll see you in New York City in December at ScentXplore. See you soon. Bye-bye.